Hello, let's talk about the new, or relatively new. It's been here a while now, ever since eBay decided to drop the fees for sellers or private sellers in the UK. And it's the wonderful eBay buyer protection fee. Let's sum it up in one statement. They basically cut the selling fees for sellers. They realized they couldn't make any money from a private seller, so they've put pretty much equivalent of that fee that they used to make on the buyer, and it's not optional. So they are saying, for your own protection, and because we can't get the money from the seller anymore, so we can compete with the likes of Vinted, we're now going to get the money that we've lost from you, the buyer. Now, I've worked out the mathematics of this, and towards the end of the video, or if you jump in the timeline, you'll see that eBay are getting the calculations wrong, and that's a major problem. So if you want to just jump to that, follow the timeline below, and you'll be able to get to the eBay calculation on how they're getting wrong, as we turn back to me, explaining my views on eBay buyer protection and how it all works. Now, I'm struggling to see how this is a benefit to the buyer other than the fact that you've got to pay for it, because I can't see any added benefits of this buyer protection than what you didn't get before. And if you buy from a business seller, you don't have to pay it. So why do you have to pay if you buy it from a private seller? If you didn't pay it, would you not be protected? Well, the simple answer in my mind, and this is my own opinion, is that it is just because eBay don't get the selling fees anymore and they've lost the revenue. So they've got to get it from someone, and that someone is now you, the buyer, because your protection is exactly the same as what you used to have, but you never used to pay it. And that buyer protection money is like an insurance payout. If it's not needed, it doesn't get returned. It stays in the bank of eBay. So under this buyer protection, this super duper scheme that they're running, they're also going to keep hold of the seller's money. So when you've paid your money to eBay, now that they've introduced for UK private sellers the buyer protection add-on, which the buyer pays, that doesn't go anywhere near the seller. The seller doesn't receive that. They've also now taken control of all the postage, and they're going to make their ka-ching slice of the postage money. That money doesn't go anywhere near the seller. But to assure that you, the buyer, under this new buyer protection scheme, is fully protected and you're not going to actually have any issues, they're holding the buyer's money for a minimum of 2 days after your item has been delivered. So in what essence is the risk of the buyer protection? Why do you need the buyer protection fee? Because if you've had your item delivered and the seller is not going to get paid for at least 48 hours from that delivery, you will have had a chance to open that, look at it, check it, assess it, and put a claim in. And that money hasn't gone to the seller. It's still in that all-important bank of eBay. So what risk is there? Because the money's not been released from eBay's control. So they would just hold it until it's resolved and then give it you back. So where is it, eBay? I'd love for somebody from eBay to actually come and actually say, this is why we're doing this, and it's not about making money. You can see I'm not impressed, or you can sense I'm not impressed of it so far, and I think eBay have made a total hash of it. But it's not going to change, and it's not going to be done. It's not going to be reversed, because it's obviously making money somewhere. So let's go through a few examples of what it's going to look like, or what it does look like, and what the costs are. So stay with me. This is even the funny bit. eBay cannot even work out correctly how to apply the buyer protection fee, and they're constantly getting it wrong. Apologies for the any reflection from the glasses, and I'd just like to point out I am not in any way connected to that seller. That is not me. I just happen to be looking for a size 8 pair of on trainers, if anyone's got one. Some decent ones for sale at the moment. So it's wrong. Basically, eBay, you're getting it wrong. You're either telling us wrong or you're doing the maths wrong. because that item, I would assume, oh, I've worked it out, that the seller wants £20 for it. If we follow the rules that you're saying and you have stated on how you're going to work it out, there would be a 75 pence minimum charge, 75p minimum for that all-important buyer protection, and then you'd add 4% of £20, which is 80p, which makes a total of £21.55. And the seller earns his 20 quid or her 20 quid. However, your list and item page works it out incorrectly because it says the seller wants £20. I'm going to take 75p, the all important minimum buyer protection fee, and then it takes it off the £20. And it says, well, I'm going to work out 4% of £19.25. And that works out at 77 pence. You add that to the 75p, and then you say, well, it must be £1.52. Not £1.55 like you're telling us, and the seller still gets their £20, and you're sticking it up on your own website for £21.52, saying, buyer, that's how much you're going to pay. Well, I can give you some advice here. Either work your maths out or change all your help pages and the guidance to fully explain how you're going to charge, because there's a discrepancy and it makes you look a complete idiot. So that's it, buyer protection. What do you think? I would love to read some of your comments below. Is it the right thing? And it's a great thing and the buyers should pay like on other platforms? Or do you think it's just eBay tinkering and it's not gonna be a great success? I don't think it's going anywhere. I think it's the way eBay have chosen to go. And it's a case of if you want to continue to sell on the platform, that's what you're going to have to deal with. And again, if you want to continue to buy from private sellers in the UK, it's something that you're going to have to pay. As always, please check out my other videos and please leave those comments